But yeah, I want to go get started with the story time. Oh my god, that noise. Ah! Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to try something a little different. So I'm gonna make a little short story time video for you guys, and then you get to see my apartments. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys like how I got the apartments and what led me to getting an apartment by myself and stuff like that. Alright, so I made like a list of everything I need to talk about because there's just so much to talk about. And so I'm gonna put that all in there. Towards the video, I'm also going to put a little bit of clippets here and there just to show you like that I wasn't lying about some things and like just other stuff in general. But yeah, I will get right onto it. So I was living with my parents all the way until I was 18. When I graduated high school, I went straight into a university in Florida, and it was really crazy because when I first moved to go to the States, because I'm from a tiny little island, and so it was just crazy. If you leave where you're from, it's just such a huge transition in your life to do something like that. So yeah, I left to go to a university. A few weeks before I had to leave, we had this big typhoon, which ended up being like also a hurricane category 4 type kind of thing, and it was called Sodalor. So it did ruin like a whole bunch of homes and stuff like that, including mine. So it was really stressful towards the last weeks of me staying there. It was because there's just so many things going on, and like I barely had anything packed. A lot of my things were destroyed at the time. But I remember leaving, and I think it was like really early in the morning. It was like 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. And all I brought with me was the check-in bags, the really big ones, a carry-on bag, and then a backpack. That is all I brought with me when I went to the States. And it was crazy because when I went to my college, you see all these people with boxes with them, with already like set microwaves and fridges and stuff like that. And I'm just here like, yeah, I got 3 luggages. Anyway, but I mean, I didn't really care. Like, I don't care at all. But so I stayed at my university. I had a dorm and everything. I had one roommate. She was super quiet. We barely really talked, to be honest. She and I we couldn't really vibe. Like, she was really nice and she and I got along, but like her personality was just very like quiet, and I'm very outgoing, and so we didn't really clash as much. But anyway, so I stayed there for a whole year. Towards like mid of my semester, my first semester, I started getting really depressed, mostly because the holidays were coming up. So Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that. And everyone got to go home for the holidays except me. So it kind of was like upsetting because it was my first year away from home and I didn't know anybody. Like, I moved to Florida and I legit had no family or friends that I knew who are from Florida. So I kind of just went there on a whim. Like, I was just ready to get out of where I was and into a new environment. So during spring break, I actually went to Oregon and I visited a couple of my friends who were living there. So I stayed for a week and I got to spend time with them, and I came during springtime. And so like all the cherry blossoms were out, all the flowers were out and blooming, and it was really pretty. And I just came to love Oregon so much because of that. In my spring term, I decided, I was like, you know what, like, I'm not happy in Florida. I want another change. So I talked to my mother, and then I talked to a couple of my friends who were living down there, and out of like randomly, I just decided to move down to Oregon. So I moved to Oregon in 2016. So at the time, I was living with 7 people, not including myself. And we lived in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom kind of apartment. And I came in there with 2 huge like Home Depot boxes, and then my carry-ons and stuff like that. But it was just really crazy. I did know a lot of these people. A lot of them like I grew up with. Actually, I grew up with all of them basically. One of them was my neighbor for like all of my childhood. We were super close. Like, I considered her as a sister. But yeah, it's crazy because I look back now and I'm not close to them at all anymore. And so it's crazy to see that how one small little problem really did just like break up a whole friendship. But I'm like fast forwarding this. Oh my gosh. No, okay. So when I moved there, everything was fine for the first month or so, and then everything started to get really bad. I started to get really sick, and it was because the house was actually super moldy, and there was like moss all up on the ceilings and stuff like that, because during wintertime they wouldn't turn on their heater. And so like all the moisture in the walls would just like sink in. And so I started getting sick because of that. Don't get me wrong though, I'm really grateful that they actually helped me out. And it was really great because like at the time, like all of us were paying $200 for rent. And it was just so crazy because now I'm paying like $900 and like $30 some dollars, when back then I was only paying $200. So, I mean, it got really weird, and then I started getting really upset, and so I got a cat, or I got 2 cats actually, but before I got them, I did talk to my roommates about them, and I was like, is it okay if I get a cat? Like, what's your input on this? And they said it was fine as long as I took care of them, which obviously I did. But it was so, like, when people say that living with your friend is not the same, and it's not going to be the same, is honestly super true. Like, I rather live with strangers, to be honest, at this point in my life, rather than living with friends that I'm super close to, because it just ruins friendships sometimes, just depending on what the situation is. But yeah, my situation was just a little messed up, where all of us were just 8 different people, and we have 8 different personalities, and all of us just clashed together. Like, I clashed with one of the girls there. She just is super stubborn and very one-sided, and I'm very super stubborn as well, and I speak my mind a lot, and so we just really clashed, and we always argued. So what actually happened was, it was actually not my fault. This, like, to be honest, it was actually my mom's fault, kind of. So what happened was, I was FaceTiming her every time. Like, me and my mom are super close, so we would FaceTime each other a lot, and she and I would like be talking on the phone, and then I would be walking around the apartment, and she'll be looking at the apartment, and she'll be like, why aren't those dishes washed? Why is there green stuff on the walls? Why is the bathroom so messy? And stuff like that. And I would just tell her, I'm like, well, it's always been like that since I've been here. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I've legit bought like bathroom cleaning supplies. And it's still just, it's never clean. Like, there's literally 2 boys and everyone else is girls. Like, it was just so messy living with 7 people. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, and if you guys don't believe me, I will put little photos here. Totally not lying about it. But yeah, so what happened was, when I used to talk to my mom about it, I guess one day she talked to one of the girls that was living with me. She talked to her mom about it because they saw each other down the street walking or something. And her mom didn't know anything about that situation and confronted her daughter, and then all of a sudden, like, I was to blame for it because apparently I was lying about everything, and then they were calling me ungrateful for doing this and that and that. Like, not ungrateful. Like, I appreciated all the help that they gave me, and to this day, like, I'm sad that we're not close anymore, but like, now it's in the past. Like, it's been 2 years. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to come talk to you. Oh, that's also another thing. They never confronted me about it. That's the most immature thing. Like, they didn't confront me about the situation. They gave me the silent treatment. That's all they did. And they were also very two-faced about it too, because at the time that situation was happening, only a couple, like 2 of them were like not talking to me, and then everyone else was kind of like just staying out of the drama from it. I personally didn't even know there was drama to begin with, because no one has told me anything. And then I bought one of the roommates, I bought her a Warped Tour ticket. If you guys don't know what Warped Tour is, it's sponsored by Vans, and it's for like punk rock, kind of rock festival. And so I took her there for her birthday, and then she was all great and everything. Right at the end of her birthday though, she just ended up ignoring me like I was nothing to her. Like, I was like, oh, okay, so it was so stupid. And then the reason why I found out about this whole thing was because my friend, who, by the way, she left us to go to Philippines on her like sophomore year of high school, and so we're all not like close and tight-knit as we used to be. One of my roommates went in and talked to her, who I'm not even that close to anymore, who talked to me and showed me like screenshots of the conversation, and I was just like, you can talk to someone thousands and thousands of miles away about something, but you can't tell me to my face? Like, so yeah, that was kind of all the things. And then like it just got really bad towards those months. At first I used to thought it was because of the cat, because everyone agreed to having the cat except for one person, and it was that girl who was like super stubborn. That was like not the main reason at all and everything like that. And so like they were just really stupid, because like when I also moved in there, they started making like ground rules too, which is annoying. I get that you should have ground rules, mostly with the amount of people that's living in that house, but like they made the ground rules specifically for me. You can't smoke in the house, you can't drink in the house, and at the time like I was the only person who drank. Mostly I just drink wine, you guys. So but yeah, I was the only person in the house who did really drink. And then I couldn't, like, no one was allowed to have any friends over after like a certain time. I think it was like 9 o'clock or something. And then if you wanted to have a friend over, you needed permission. And I was like, yeah. And then like they did stupid stuff. Like, so I moved into the master bedroom with one of the girls. At the time I didn't have a bed, so I slept on an air mattress. And then that air mattress like popped, magically just popped. Because like I had that whole mattress when I was living in Florida, because my best friend came to visit me in Florida, so we bought an air mattress for her. Crazy enough, just 3 months living there, my air mattress just suddenly pops. But yeah, I found out like, because I was sleeping on it, and then I woke up the next morning and I was like flat on the ground. And I used to have like really bad back problems as a child, and so like sleeping on the floor is not my go-to. And for like the first like year of living in Oregon, honestly, I was sleeping on the floor because your girl is broke at the time. And so I used to keep doing that. And then also like, so my room, how it was is that there's 2 ways to get out of the bedroom. One is a door going out to the living room, and then the other one is to lead to the bathroom. And so usually like in the mornings I have work, like everyone has work or school or something, and so I would actually try to go out from the bathroom, because that's normally just the easiest way, because it leads straight to the door leading to the outside. And usually in the mornings someone always decides to lock it even though there's no one in the bathroom. And so I would have to try to like scramble my way out to go from the living room door, and the living room door would always, for some reason, only in the mornings, will be like covered with this really big, heavy like dining room table thing, or like a coffee table, not a dining room table, like a coffee table, and it would always be against my door. So then I would always have to like struggle to leave. Even like September, I went to Seattle to visit a friend just because of how bad it's been getting and stuff like that. So it was really nice to actually get some breather out of the situation that I was in. And then when I came back, I decided like I just can't keep doing this anymore. Like, why am I living with people who don't want me and who aren't treating me the way I should be treated? And so I started doing some apartment hunting. Let me say this though, never trust Craigslist. Okay, like I've used Craigslist a whole lot of times, and like some of them you can trust, some of them are super sketchy. It just really depends on what you think. So I was just like a naive 19-year-old, and I was just thinking, yeah, this person I can trust, because back home like, our community back home is that, like, everyone can trust everyone. Like, we're so friendly, we're so outgoing. Like, no one back home is really that, like, untrustworthy that would break you kind of thing. And so, like, I was very trusting when I first moved to the States. Like, I trusted everybody. Like, if you needed something, I was there for you kind of thing. Even if you were a stranger, I would still be there for you kind of thing. Definitely not me now, but yeah, I found this apartment on Craigslist, and I met him around like 11 p.m. one night, and it was like in a really like ghetto-y kind of sketchy area. But I mean, I didn't mind it, to be honest. And so I went in there, I talked to the guy. There was a woman also living there who had a child, and then there was another guy who was supposed to move in who's from Hawaii. And then that guy who was like talking to me and stuff like that, he was actually moving out, and so he wanted me to lease the apartment. He told me that there was still a year left in there, and all I had to do was switch my name. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And he said he got everything covered with the people who in the leasing office and stuff like that. And like, I believed him just because the leasing office actually went ahead and sent me all the papers that needs to be signed and stuff like that. And I just electronically signed it, not thinking anything about it. And like, I didn't think about like the damages and stuff like that. I thought it was just going to be covered with a deposit that was given and things like that. And so I lived there, and then a month later I found out I was getting evicted, and I was like, what? And so what actually happened was the apartment that I ended up subleasing had 2 months left in its thing, and the guy forgot to tell me about it apparently, and then the leasing office was stupid, and like, I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. And I was saying, and they were telling me that I have to pay for all the damages in the house and stuff like that, and this and that and that. And I was like, look, I've been here for a month. I don't know the full story. This apartment's been going, like, they owned this apartment for 3 years. Like, I have nothing to do with this and stuff like that. And then the guy who was from Hawaii was also not on the lease either, as well as the girl. So I was the only one on the lease. And so, like, I figured that was, like, really sketchy, because I'm like, why didn't you put them on the lease? Like, why'd you have to screw me over? And so, like, I'm pretty sure I still have his text messages somewhere, like, but yeah, I ended up telling him, and I was like, take me off the lease, like, you didn't tell me all of this is false advertising and stuff like that. And he was like, well, you knew what you were going into when you got in, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, no, I didn't, you told me nothing. And so, but like, it was really stressful, because actually towards that time when they wanted us to get kicked out in December, I got a plane ticket as a gift to go back home for Christmas. And like, it was just really stressful, and I just didn't know what to do, and I really wanted to go home. I haven't seen my family in a year. I'm very family orientated, and so it was kind of like, go home or stay for the eviction. Like, so I actually ended up, my friend Ray actually ended up helping me. So she was actually going to move in with a couple of our coworkers after her lease was done at her own apartment. And so she said I could put my stuff into that room, because that room is currently empty. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's great. Like, I don't even have anything to begin with. Like, I still had probably like 2 boxes and like my suitcases, and probably like a chair and a table. Like, that's literally all I have to my name. And then I went home for Christmas. I forgot about everything. I thought I was gonna get in trouble. I thought when I went back home, like, cops were gonna show up to my door or something like that. Like, I was that scared, because I didn't know what was gonna happen, or what was, like, I've never experienced anything like that before. I've never got evicted. I've never had, like, to sign my name on anything and stuff like that. So that was, like, my first apartment experience, basically. So I went home, and then I came back in January. I only stayed for like 2 weeks. So when I went back home, I didn't really know what was to expect. Like, I thought I was gonna be homeless, to be honest. Like, I didn't know what to do. Ray actually ended up wanting to stay in her apartment that she was living in. So she said I could have her room if I wanted to. So I talked to the boys that were living there, and they said that was totally fine. So I ended up actually staying there for a couple of months because the lease was going to be up in June, because I think they only took like a 6-month lease. So I lived with 2 of my old coworkers and then my coworker's girlfriend. And so we all lived together in the 3-bedroom townhome kind of style, which was really cute. And like I had a whole lot of fun there. Like it was nice to live with people that was my age, because the person who had the kids, she was 25, but she was treating me like I was her kid, and I was like, I'm more grown up for this, like no. And so like it was just nice to be around people my age group and like just to hang out and relax and not have to stress about like arguments and stuff like that. I stayed there for a couple months. It was nice to have my own room, and then I ended up buying my bed in like February of moving in there, so that was really nice to actually have a bed again. So yeah, I think after that we had tax season coming up, so we were filing taxes and everything, and I didn't expect that much, to be honest. Like, so I was actually just gonna use my tax return to get my car, and then I realized I got my tax return and I was like, that's actually a lot of money, and I was like, maybe I should invest it in something else. And originally what was supposed to happen was, when the lease was up, I was supposed to live with my roommate's girlfriend, and we were supposed to just get our room together and the boys were gonna get their own place together, and that was supposed to be what was originally gonna happen. But it was also my part, I didn't communicate about it very well, just because I was really unsure about the situation, because like a couple months ago I got evicted and I didn't know if that was gonna be under like collections or something like that. I just didn't know what was gonna happen. So I ended up coming to the apartments that I am living in now, and I talked to that lady about my situation in the past and stuff like that. But I told her that I found this apartment, it's really affordable and I really want it, my credit score is really good right now, this and that and that. And she said, just put in the application, we'll see what we can do. It was really crazy. It was super quick too, because a week later she calls me, she's like, yeah, you got approved if you want to move in. And I was like, and like at the time I was only paying like $849 for these apartments, and my apartment complex is really like nice. Like we have security around the area if you need them, we have the pool, the saunas, like a gym is right across from where I live and stuff like that. So it was like really crazy, and it's on a good neighborhood too. It's where like everything is. So like Target is literally a walk away, 7-Eleven is like down the street, there's like boba tea right there and stuff like that. So I was kind of shocked that I got approved. So I ended up telling my roommates about how I got the apartment and stuff like that, and so they didn't mind at all. And then I ended up moving out in April, which is today. April 19th was the day I moved out from the apartment that I was living at. And it's so crazy because like I remember like packing all my things, and I literally had so much stuff at that point. I had like maybe 6 or 7 like medium-sized boxes of just everything I own. I accumulated so much stuff living over there. And so yeah, I moved over here, and I had one of my friends helped me out, and then here's like little clips of me moving into the new place. I remember when I had to go to the apartment complex and then sign all the papers for the leasing and stuff like that. She like walked me into my apartment, and I got to unlock the door and everything. And she like showed me the apartment and everything, and I was just like, I was literally speechless, because it was like my first apartment. I got approved for it. I didn't need any help. I did the down deposit all by myself. Like, I was just in shock. And so when she left, I ended up calling a friend of mine and crying to her on the phone because of how happy I was about getting this apartment. So like, yeah, now I have this apartment, and so I've lived there for a whole year. There was like minor little complications, maybe like once or twice towards my apartment, but other than that, like it's been pretty good. Like I've never had problems with it. They're really consistent about changing things. Like last month, they actually changed out all the light bulbs in the house, and then they also changed out all the little filters in the sinks and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just so crazy. And like, I still literally, like, when I packed up to move to this place, I literally had just stuff for a bedroom. And now I have stuff for my bedroom, my living room, the kitchen. Like, I have the whole set. Like, it's so crazy. To be honest though, like, if you're in a situation like I was back in the day, and honestly this was just 2 years ago too, because I moved to Oregon in 2016, so it's only been 2 years. So think about that, like how crazy it is from living with 7 people sleeping on the floor to having your own place with a double queen size bed. Back at the time when I was living with all those people, like, to be honest, I was just so done with everything. Like, I was just ready to go. Like, I didn't even care what happened to me anymore at that point in my life. And so, like, the fact that I'm still here today and, like, I've grown as a person and I've, like, all these things, like all these blessings that came into my life, like it's just so crazy. So I kind of want to walk you guys through the complex a little bit before I actually show you the apartment. It's super nice out, so I'm gonna flip this guy over. And so yeah, I got this cute little guy when I first moved in. Really love it. Has a little thingy over there. We have our tennis courts literally right in front of me. I don't know what they're doing today, but they're ridiculously like loud for a Thursday. But yeah, I just wanted to walk you guys over. But yeah, this guy is the tennis courts. And yeah, everything's super close by too, which I really love. So, oh look. So yeah, everything's like blooming right now. It's super cute. Love it. So I don't have my keys with me, which I totally forgot. But yeah, here's the pond. And then there's always like little ducks, which, let me see if I can get them. Yeah, when I first moved in, there was like baby ducklings, and now they have geese coming around. So yeah, these guys are so cute. We're going inside downstairs of the building. Got little vending machines all over the place. Like I said, I don't have my keys, but this is the gym room. So we got a cute little gym center, and then that's like the laundry mat thing where you can get it. Oh, and then that's like the pool side, which I'm not walking there because that's too far. So we're gonna walk back to my apartments actually. Okay, so we are back in the apartment. I hope you guys are ready to see this, like, surprise! So I think what I'm gonna do first is show you part of the apartment and then give a surprise. I just want to apologize really quickly to my parents. If you guys are watching this, don't get mad at me. But yeah, this is the front door. Let me flip you around. This guy here is like my little closet. I'm not gonna show you guys that just because you don't need to see that. I put all my like little jackets and stuff there, as well as my shoes. And then we're gonna go here into the bathroom. I made those cute little guys have a little theme going on in the bathroom, which is basically all blue. And then here is the infamous mirror that I usually use to take my selfies in. So yeah, and it comes with like a really cute vanity lights up there, which I really wish that was in my bedroom, but that's totally fine too. And then got that guy. This is like another closet we have here. This is by Van Gogh, if you guys don't know. This is my bedroom. Kind of messy, but have a cute little tapestry here. Got my computer, iPad, notes for my vlogs and videos. This is the bed. Has like a nice window here, and it just shows all of outside. I have a computer that I used to use when I did my online classes, and then I have this huge closet, like, so that's like one end of it. And then if I open this one, there's just more clothes. Like, it's ridiculous, I know. That's crazy. And then here I have where I do my video setups. So I would just have these guys turned on, and then have like all my little makeup is here. Then I have more makeup. If you guys do want to see like a makeup collection video, put a little monkey emoji on my comment section and I will make one for you guys. But there's all of that one. And then I'm gonna go show you guys the kitchen. So, oh, and then I also have this little art piece. And then here's the kitchen. Onions, garlic, coffee mix, like a lot of coffee, because you know I love coffee. It's like a little liquor bar. Honestly, half of these are like sort of empty and majority of them are wine. So that one, rice cookers. I made like a little toast of jam earlier, so there was that. So before I show you the living room, I feel like I should say the surprise now. Hold on. So I'm really sorry, but I want you all to meet Johanna. Her name is Jo, but I got a cat and I love her and she's the cutest little thing in the world. But so I got her out of kind of an impulse just because I was really wanting like an emotional support kind of thing, and so I decided to get a cat. It was easier to sneak into the apartment because my apartment doesn't know, and all of that. She's super sweet, super kind. Look at her, she's so cute. But yeah, she was kind of a rescue and stuff like that. So yeah, but I mean, for the record, like if my parents are seeing this, for the record, I honestly don't have to pay a lot for her. Like, anyway, so this is the living room. Got her little cat tree thing, little cage with her little box food and everything like that. And then this is my whole living room setup. Got my little couch here, which I got when I first moved in. A coworker of mine at the time helped me move my couch and all my stuff into the apartment. Then I got these cute little succulents the other day, which I'm really happy about. And then I got this quilt that my mom made me. Still use it, still love it. She has another cat tree here, and she's like trying to and then have a little calendar to remind myself. I have like a couple of portraits, which I don't know why I don't hang, but like there's just so much, like I don't know why I have so many. Someone get rid of them, but whatever. And then I got my TV here, and then I was watching Bob's Burgers earlier, so I kind of have that there. Little posters, and then here's like a little haul video for you guys that's coming up soon. I just haven't had the time for it. And then got my balcony over here, and then there's the court. But yeah, that's kind of basically my apartment. So yeah, that's basically my apartment. I hope you guys like the surprise about me getting a cat. But yeah, I'm really excited to stay here for another year. Let's see how next year will take us and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you guys like this apartment tour.